another U.S. Women's National Team game. We play Spain. I don't feel as nervous as I did with England. We should beat Spain also. Also, the Spanish team is missing more. They're missing almost their entire team that's normally on the national stage because they're continuing their fight about good working conditions, just like every soccer team, every women's soccer team seems to be doing right now. So unfortunately it is still work, so I've got 2 more hours of work to go, but the benefit of working from home, I can watch my favorite sports team while also working. Are you kidding me? We're losing. Vladko, what have you done?
To sell his stake in the team. For more reaction, let's hear from a couple national teamers themselves. First, Megan Rapinoe, then Sophia Smith.
We were saying it, to the people in positions of power whose responsibility it was to take care of players and to listen to those concerns. We were writing it in the surveys. We were saying it to the federation. We were saying it to everybody. So why they stayed silent, I don't know. Maybe to protect their own position, or, I don't think they can say at any point they didn't know how bad it was, or they didn't, know exactly what the situation was. I think it was spelled out, explicitly year after year after year. So you would have to ask them, but it's incredibly disappointing.
Here's a look at some of the recommendations that came out of the Sally Yates investigation. What do you think needs to be done?
Well, the thing that jumps off the pages is what you read is over and over again. A person in a position to stop the abuse, to stop the cycle, and they don't disclose it, they don't pass it on, they sweep it under the rug. And so right away in Sally Yates' report, she has some great recommendations, because it's going to require now that misconduct and to be reported, and for there to be transparency. I think that's the first thing. Accountability, as we know, is a huge thing. You've heard all the players talk about it. There has to be consequences to that, because in the end, no one was taking responsibility, whether they were saying, oh, Safe Sport has it, right? Now you have a player safety officer, hopefully, that will act in that position, that can actually make meaningful change and have an avenue for players to report to. We know it's just the start of what is a huge systemic problem.
What a finish this is by Gonzalez. Esther Gonzalez letting it come across her body, as hard as that is, and then with her left foot now pushing it wide, redirecting it perfectly into the corner.
We lost 2-0. Just utterly frustrating. Like, it's really, really frustrating to watch the US lately, because we're not playing like how we used to. The energy isn't quite there. I mean, the energy was there for part of it when we played England, but not that much. I'm trying to think of another game where we came out with a ton of energy, but it's been a while. We used to, watching the 2015 and 2019 World Cup and the games in between, we would consistently, I'm not part of this team, the US would consistently score within the first 15 minutes. Like, that was just the thing. It happened all the time. To this day, I feel like one of the most insane, crazy feelings was watching the 2015 World Cup final where Carly Lloyd scored a hat trick so quickly, and it was insane. I remember watching that game live with my coworkers and just screaming. It was crazy. And I get teams evolve and change. We have almost a whole new generation of soccer players on the team, and we have a new coach. So we have a new style of playing, But I hate it. Like, it's been years. It's been years since the 2019 World Cup when we transitioned and all of that. And we're still talking about it. Commentators are still talking about, like, give it time. We're still in this transition period. How long are transition periods? Years? Because to me, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And we just played, no offense to Spain, but their second tier World Cup or their second tier national team. We should have beat them. And instead we lost. We had one shot on goal. One. I just finished a Netflix show called The Gentleman's Game. It's about soccer. I do have more hobbies than just soccer, but clearly I talk about it a lot. It just so happens that in October the women play multiple times, and yeah. But it is a game. It is a show about soccer. It is only 6 episodes long. It is, gosh, maybe like an hour long each. So yes, it is over 6 hours, but in the grand scheme of TV shows, it's not very long. I would recommend watching it. It talks about, or it addresses the start of soccer, or the start of football in the 1800s, and yeah, like professional players, which means you get paid for playing. which still sometimes comes into, like in the last couple years, there was a big thing about college players and how they don't get paid, yet their name, their likeness can be in video games. They're the face of Nike or something, but you cannot be a professional athlete and play for your college team. I'm pretty sure that's what it was about. It all mixes up. I know specifically with video games. And then back, I don't know when, I listened to a podcast on how the Olympics originally didn't allow for professional players, I think. I think you couldn't be paid and go to the Olympics. I could be wrong, but I feel like I listened to a podcast on that. Anyway, it is a little after 7. I ended up not going to Orange Theory because I checked the classes and they were doing a special, which is like their signature, and I don't like it. It's called a tornado, and you end up, so when you go to Orange Theory, there are three stations. So there's a row, there's the floor, which is typically weights, and then there is the treadmill. And with a tornado, you will jump to those stations more than once, which sounds fun, but the reason why I don't like it is that it's typically like a minute and a half or 2 minutes to rotate. And so already you're losing like 4 to 5 minutes for your rotations. And so when you're doing tornado, they try to do it as quick as possible, but when those classes are full, it is really annoying because you have to wipe down the equipment every single time. When I'm on the weight floor, typically I don't just have one set of weights. Like the last time, I think I had 4 different sets of weights. So it's a lot of weights that I have to clean and put away. So I just don't like tornado. So because of that, I didn't go. We are coming up on the time for when I need to start my 10K and half marathon training program. I'm all about programs. I love programs. I love set schedules and tasks of the day. What's interesting about the Disney one is that rather than giving me distances for every day, they give me times. So I think at the end of October is when I should start, because that would put me at 18 weeks before the race. I'm doing the 10K and the half marathon for the Disney Princess, which they released what the medals look like. Oh, I'm so excited. Part of me really wishes I had signed up for the 5K, but like the most expensive 5K I probably would ever do. Gosh, I think it was close to maybe $60 or $70 just to do a 5K, and it doesn't come with a Disney ticket or anything. So I opted to not do it, but I am doing both 10K and 10K and the half. The half I'm doing with my friend. So it's giving me, I chose the experienced program because I do consider myself experienced. I'm not fast, I'm not great, but I am experienced. This will be my 3rd in-person half marathon, and it will be my 5th half marathon in general, which is crazy to think about. But it wants me to run for 30 to 45 minutes on Tuesday and Thursday, and then do my long run on Saturday. And it kind of, it keeps up that schedule the whole time. Honestly, it's kind of, it's every other, okay, I was like, that seems crazy. You only want to run 3 and 4 miles and then I run a half? No. So it's increasing by a mile every other week, which is interesting. Every program I've done, you're running at your rest days where you're still running. You're running like 2 to 4, miles, and then on your weekend run, you're adding a mile until you hit like 10, and then it backs off again. Personally, I like to do it until I get to 13 and then start over. Not fully, but you know. So I really should start that. So I think I'm just gonna pop down to the gym and go run for 45 minutes. I don't have any headphones though, is the problem. My JBL's wireless headphones stopped working, which is such a pain. So I ordered some new ones because Amazon is doing a flash sale. So they're only like $30 instead of $70. So hopefully they're okay. For $30, if they're not, it's fine. So I need to do that. And then have dinner and then watch Stranger Things. And then read. I want to get some reading done tonight. Look how gloomy and dark it is. My phone is charging, so that's why you're at a weird angle.